and subscribe. Cut this music down. Cut it down. I'm not.
I tried to give it more effort.
I know you did. This isn't about you.
I tried to give it more. You're giving me shit all last night about my lack of effort.
It was. This was a better effort. Now, sadly enough, this is not your fault. You've run into me in a bad place. Obviously, Osita has just said, "Fuck it tonight," so he's not in with us.
He said he was getting his tonsils taken out.
Sure, whatever. I mean, have you ever worked through tonsils being taken out? Huh?
No, I don't. I've never had to have them removed.
Well, damn it. Okay, well. That's fine. Get better soon. This isn't even about him who is dipped out on us. Again, Steve, I do appreciate your effort, but I was in a ticked off place just walking into this, and I didn't want to be. I really did. I was looking forward to having some fun with Jayden Daniels. I was looking to have some fun.
And that's what this is about.
I was looking to have some fun with Jayden Daniels. I was looking to have some fun with, hey, let's have a good conversation about what the hell's going on with Shedeur. Let's have what's going on. Shedeur is going to be a starter for preseason, their first preseason game. And this shouldn't be like no Hall of Fame game. Like, let's see, let's go. And then right before we came on, Steve, I flip on. You know, I'm or you may not know, but I am a big Indiana Fever fan. And they're hanging on without Caitlin. They've won 5 in a row. Shout out to Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, who is playing her ass off lately. The whole crew. Flip on, they're playing Kelsey Plum, playing LA Sparks. Not bad. Shout out to CBS Sports Network. And right as I am about to really prepare to get set up to do the nightly fix, please like and subscribe. Head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media. Please like or subscribe. If you don't, they're going to make you sit in the room right next to your son when he has to get that foreskin cut off. And you're going to have to sit there and watch it yourself and hear those screams.
Christ.
Yeah. Not a fun thing. So if you don't like and subscribe, that's what you're dealing with. But Serda, I'm flipping on. Kelsey Plum got fouled shooting a 3, and she's shooting 3 free throws. And on the 3rd free throw, as she makes it and Indiana's about to inbound the ball, somebody fires another dildo and hits Sophie Cunningham in the foot. Jeez. And they've got to clear another green one. They've got to clear the court. They've got to deal with stuff. And you could tell, like Kelsey Plum comes up immediately and just, I mean, like she is, in a penalty kicks and just kicks it off the floor immediately so it can't be seen. The commentators are getting annoyed. And Steve, this is like, we talked about Delbert, who got himself arrested. But this is like the 4th or 5th time that this has happened, Steve. And I know that there are some people watching this or listening. I think this is total bullshit. And I am really, really, really getting mad about this. Like super annoyed. And I know there's some people out here who are watching this and may just have turned us off forever and never are going to give the nightly fix another shot. I would urge you, though, check out Brian's World on Foolish Club Media. Maybe that might be your cup of tea. Beach season, pretty good. B Block podcast, pretty good every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So maybe you have something. And I know there are going to be some, oh, God, you're woke and all this. It is really, really getting under my skin, Steve, that this has become the thing to do now to these women who clearly, as we talked about the other, like when this first came out, we discussed it. To me, this is clearly a difference in firing a dildo at a Buffalo Bills football game in the corner of the end zone to firing dildos on a court where women are playing. And many of them, there's a sexual like disrespect as well to it, which I think takes it different than doing it at a football stadium that I know it's happened before. But that this has become the go-to thing to do, and that guys are running in saying, all right, man, let's like that. This level of disrespect is not just by one person or some one dumb person. And I know we got a lot of dumb people, but now it is becoming the thing, and people are making it their point to go to these games and disrespect the game, disrespect the women out there working hard. It is really, really starting to piss me off, Steve. Maybe I'm like, I don't find any humor in it. The joke, I haven't found any humor in it from the first one. I don't know. Maybe 15 years ago, I may have been stupid and grabbed a chuckle. I hope not, but I don't find it funny at all. But it is really bothering me that this has become a thing.
Yeah, and I think like last week when we talked about it, like I was probably like downplaying it a little bit, but it was also part of like, well, let me like offer like a different type of perspective from where you and Osita were sitting. But obviously, I don't agree with this. Obviously, this is super offensive.
You were just saying you could see you know people who would probably do it, or you like you could see how this comes about.
Yeah, and I've known a lot of dumb people in my life who would certainly do something like that, thinking it was just like it was a good laugh, and we got our dildo on TV or something. But no, this is offensive. This is upsetting. I think this is also a part of like this women's sport is blowing up in a way that I don't think anyone ever realized, which is part of why they have recently like protested for better wages, because these teams are bringing in dramatically more money than they have in the past, and the players aren't seeing any of it. Like they're still like,
no, that's not true. They're seeing 9% of it, Steve.
Yeah,
and the league, and the other 91% is going to the league, but they are seeing 9% of it.
Like they're not getting paid what they're due, obviously, which is that's the problem. Like with literally just anything, like anyone in the workforce in this country, like that's capitalism. Like the people at the top cash all the paychecks while everybody else continues to not see increases in wages for the work that they are putting in to make this business profitable. But no, it is upsetting and it is offensive. And what sucks about it is like now that it's happened, I bet it's going to keep happening. I hope that these people that continue to do this get caught and they get charged.
Everybody was pointing at the person who did it. Like it was, even the fans around him were all pointing at the person who did it. I'm trying to get an understanding, because you brought up, you said something in there like this league is starting to blow up. And it almost, and I don't know if you didn't mean, you didn't finish that or you meant to, but when I heard it, I thought this league is starting to blow up, and almost that you're meaning that you need to, that you should expect some of this with this women's league blowing up. And like, I'm trying to get, is this, you think, literally anybody in the chat, anybody, what is this for, just shits and giggles of just like really, sophomoric humor, silly joke? Or is this a deal of, hey man, we want to show you how unserious we think your sport is, and we're going to try to make this the story of your sport, and not in some kind of way of trying to slow down the momentum of women's basketball? And maybe, again, if I am thinking too deep into this, maybe I am, but I feel like now we're 6 deep in there. Maybe it is just for silly, dumb, funny, sophomore tricks, but it does feel like hey man, we want to slow this shit down and show you how unserious we think your sport is. And this is what we actually think of your sport. that we're just going to fire sex toys, and that's how we think of you, and trying to have the conversation be about sex toys and shit like this instead of what's happening on the court and the storylines, which I think has taken this league up to the popularity it's never seen before.
No, and I think, like, when I say that, like, this is like because you have more eyeballs on you and because you're getting more attention than you ever have before, I mean, I think this is a problem in any sport or anything that gets popular. You inevitably get unwanted attention from people that aren't there because they love women's basketball, for people that aren't there because they appreciate what they're watching, or they appreciate that this thing that a lot of other people are gravitating to and that other people are like finding an impact in. And like, fandom is a funny thing because it also brings out just a lot of really scummy people. And like, I don't think the people that are doing this stuff, those people suck. Like, they're douchebags. They're not fans of women's basketball, but they are there on a random Tuesday night because it's popular. It's more popular than it's ever been before. Those people would not be there if it wasn't for how much this has risen in popularity.
You think it's because now it's risen so much they even care to throw a deal, like to make a statement like this?
Yes, because and those people, maybe they decided to buy tickets because they thought it would be funny, or they just got some tickets from work or something because these things are bigger events now or whatever. And it's like an NBA game or a baseball game or whatever. They got some tickets. They decided to go do this and they suck. And they just decided to bring a dildo with them because they thought that it would be funny to throw it on the court.
Listen, I don't know. I feel like the WNBA this has to stop because this is starting to become a story for the league. Right, like this is becoming, like, especially Caitlin's hurt. With Caitlin's injury, this may be the number one story: dildos being thrown on their court, along with their collective bargaining thing. This feels like it can be stopped, right? Like, this feels like, but I guess it's just metal detectors cats are going in. But it just feels like to me like, should there be are they going to have to switch to a more extensive search of people going in here so they can stop people? Because again, I mean, I guess you could do it with other things, but I mean, you could drill somebody from the distance that some of these cats are throwing in. And I don't even want to I'm trying not to make any kind of joke, but you could hit somebody from distance. And I mean, someone not catching that, hit him in the face somewhere like that could be an injury to somebody, let alone more of the disrespect. I mean, I almost think they got to start rolling with the deal of, all right, man, empty your pockets and, like shit, damn near airport security with the dildo situation, just because this is becoming such a ridiculous thing. I don't know, but it is. I am really, I don't know if you can tell, Steve, I'm certain I am really bothered by this shit. And I do want to have some fun. And I guess where does douchebag rank on your assessment of, I'm like, this is how I feel about when I'm going to say something about a person to describe them and how I feel, and I elect to go with douchebag? Like, where does that rank in your insult category? Like, if you're like, is that a mid, or is that like is douchebag at the bottom of the barrel?
I feel like it's pretty high up there for me. I feel like it's like top 3. Like, when I call somebody a douchebag, I mean it. It's not something that it's not something that I say just like in passing. Like, it's something that I wholeheartedly mean when I choose to say it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, dude, because like, man, when you go douchebag, I'm like, all right, how many further steps is there for you, like of insults. Like, whoa, he means business. He pulled out the D bag. Like he's not kidding around, baby. He is dead ass serious. Douchebags right there, top three. I think mine is just when I call somebody a bitch. Like I feel like that's the leader in the clubhouse for me. Unless it's just, and then maybe some additions to it, like you're a soft bitch, or you're a punk ass bitch, like that dude who threw that dildo tonight.
Good, I think.
What'd you say? Soft bitch?
I think soft bitch is harder than punk ass bitch. Like, if like punk ass bitch is like
laying it in because you expect
it's a little more like it's a little more like jokey, like shoot the shit. Whereas like soft bitch is like just like stern and hard, and you're like, oh, he meant that.
Yeah, that's why your mother doesn't love you. She's been acting the whole time. She really doesn't love you. That's a hard one. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I just somehow this rolled into 17 minutes that I did not mean for. Can we get to the Jayden Daniels situation? Jayden Daniels, quarterback for the Washington Commanders, who a lot of people think is going to have a big season, and he should. They've tried to set it up, except for this little scary Terry situation they got rolling through there. But for them, hopefully they figured it out. But Steve, if you remember, he was out at a game during the NCAA tournament, and when he was sitting down with old Juju Watkins, this is before Juju tore her ACL. He was sitting down with Juju Watkins, and we saw them sit next to each other first. And then the next time the camera panned over, his mama came over and just sat right between the pipes. I mean, just moved Juju up out her seat, and she was in the middle of them. And it was Jayden, his mama, and then Juju. And it just looked like everybody was really annoyed by the whole situation, except for the lady in the middle. Well, he caught a lot of heat. He caught a lot of hell. And she's also his manager, I believe, an agent. And really, she's bringing it. Every time I've seen his mother, she is bringing it. Like, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if this is what this lady's motives are. But, Steve, she looks like she's on the hunt. She looks like she is on the hunt for something tender, for something out there. That's just what she gives off. Well, Jayden Daniels is going to crosshairs again because he's brought out a video of him putting his mom on a shopping spree, which shouldn't be that big of a deal, but because of their history, now people thinking, oh shit, he ain't gonna never find a woman. He gonna be single the rest of his life. This is the video that, damn it, Jayden Daniels is catching hell for letting him and his mama go shopping and putting her on a shopping spree.
Today I was blessed to treat my mom to a day of Neiman's. We had a great day shopping, eating lunch down there, seeing her put on her makeup, trying on perfume, just be able to go out there and bless her. For 23 years of my life, she's been blessing me. So, love you, Mom. This day is for you.
He just took his mom out for a nice day of shopping.
Is that the feel you got? You think it's over? You think it's overblown a little bit? It's overblown.
Does Jayden Daniels have an agent, or like is this like a Lamar Jackson situation?
Hey, you looking at her?
Because Lamar Jackson, unless it's changed, like his mother was his agent.
You're looking at her. No, you're looking at her. She says everything. Agent, all of it. You're looking at her. That's her. That is her.
This says his mother is a certified NFL agent. She is not one of Jayden Daniels' official representatives, but she does act as his business manager.
Yeah. She's running all of his stuff. Okay. You know that she acts as his business manager and she's an agent. The hell are you talking about? Good hell well. Regina is running this show. All right. Regina is running this show. Listen, I tend to be with you. Hey man, he took his mama out. But Steve, my thing is just by the visual, it just that don't look like mother and son. I'm not saying they look like they're lovers, but that don't look like mother and son. Like that looks like a lady who is not interested in giving up being treated like that for a while. That looks like she don't want to be replaced by some other lady who is going to be the number one lady in his life to take away the moments like that. That don't like I've gone out with my mom and listen, everybody's relationship's different, Steve. That like that right there trying to, and again, if you saw her in that video looking like she's on the hunt, Steve. And I don't know. It just gave off, yes, this is my son, but yes, it's gonna be a fight. If you think you're gonna take over and be another woman in his life, it's gonna be a fight. If you thinking I'm giving up shopping sprees to Neiman Marcus out here, it's gonna be a fight out here. If you think that you're gonna get in here and get my son easy, oh hell no. I will.
But she can have all of that without having to be in the spotlight. Like she doesn't need to be involved in his life. I'm sure if Jayden Daniels meets a lovely young woman, doesn't mean that he's not just going to be throwing his mom some cash to go buy whatever she wants.
Yeah, like it's going to slow up. She ain't going to be number one no more. She ain't going to be number one no more. She got to.
I mean, if he capitalizes off of his rookie season in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be the highest paid quarterback in football.
She gonna be looking up. And Jayden took his new lady and did a shopping spree at Tiffany's. And she gonna be sitting back. What the fuck? That's supposed to be me and my son time. That's supposed to be me. Listen, I'm just telling you. If you watch her in that video, she is loving that life. And she is loving that relationship with her son. And I don't mean, Steve, just the life of having the ability. I think right now that his mama can go and give herself a shopping spree. Like, I think she can go do that. But she likes to be the number one man in the life of the most important man to her. And if you play that video again, Steve, and you take a look in her eyes and you look at her, she ain't giving that up without a fight, Jack. That right there, look at that. You think you're going to come take him from me? Look what that say up top. Look at that say, my love. Look what that say, my heart. You think she's going down without a fight? Shit. Hell no. Look at that smile. Lit up. Lit up. Put Juju in there. She going to have her ass right there in that middle piece right there. No, she ain't ready. Did you see that shoe she was trying on? She was lacing up the my love. Look at that. No, she ain't giving that up, Steve. Look at that. Oh, hell no. Look at it. She got on full leather, Steve. she got on full effing leather. That thing says my love. Hell no. He is. Look at her. Good God, man. Who's going to be taking her out? No chance, man. Whoever is going to come in there, and you know, Steve, there's about 2,000 women ready to try to take a chance at this. There are some ladies out here ready to try to take the swing at trying to pulling this off. Woo! Hey, listen. I know Randy Mahomes is a piece of work. This ain't what they life look like. Right? This ain't. Hell, have you ever seen Lamar's mama like this? Have you ever? She's his agent. I ain't never seen her mama like that. And he got real money.
I don't think I've ever even seen Lamar Jackson.
Oh, man.
She's just been quietly behind the scenes negotiating millions and millions of dollar contracts for her son, who's one of the best players we've ever seen. And I don't think I've ever even seen her. Like, I don't think I've seen her like at a press conference or taking a picture or something, like even after he signed his massive contract.
Listen, this reminds me, I'm telling you, because you look in her eyes, right? You could look at her right there, Steve. She's not going down. This reminds me of when I started dating my wife, and we were serious, and I was going to her church. And one of the mothers of the church, I will not give her name out. I will say her name is very similar to the name of an SEC power football team that's on hard times right now. But I will never forget, she pulled me to the side and she told me, she said, she goes and belongs to this church. Don't you try to take her and have her go to another church. She's a member of this church. And I thought the lady who's a mother of the church, who is in her 70s, I've seen her again. She's got to be clutching 90s at this point. I saw her Sunday. I thought she was kidding. And she grabbed me by the arm, Steve. And I pulled away with the smile of, oh, yeah. She said, no, she's a member of this church. She goes to this church. And I'll be damned, Steve, I joined it too. So I never seen her from church, but I feel like that's what Regina's like. No, I thought at some point in that video, she was going to turn to that camera and say, bitch, try to take him from me. $35. That's when I predict Jayden Daniels gets married. 35 years old. late. What he's gonna have to do, he's gonna have to get her a man. That's what he's gonna have to do. He's gonna have and not just to run like a man, like a good one that will move that he'll be able to move her off the tracks, like Rick Fox.
Gotta be successful.
He's got, but not just successful, like somebody that's got that's also gonna bring her up, her level up.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe
somebody that knows like Jayden's life and he's missing out on so much stuff because you're out here just pestering him and following him around.
Yeah, like a former quarterback or someone who's like an exec, Troy Vincent. I don't know if he's married, but that would be the type of a former player that's now running the show. Like he's got to find her something, and then he can go and do his thing. Like he's got to get somebody successful, maybe somebody running an A&R or whatever somewhere for a music label or something. He's got to find her something. Hey, Steve, what are you? By the way, Osita's out. He had some tonsil issues, and so He is out today. So
I think maybe it was wisdom teeth. I don't know. Something in the mouth.
Whatever. Something in the mouth that has held him down. And we're praying for you, brother. We're praying for you. You know, when you say it twice, it really sends it home. We're praying for you, brother.
It seems so much more serious than it probably is.
We're praying for you. But now that we got that out of the way, is this a big deal to you? Like, is this something that you think's a big deal, especially when you look at everything that's been happening leading up to this? Reports, Mary Kay Cabot, and she is everything in Cleveland when it comes to sports, especially with the football team. Shedeur Sanders, Steve, is expected to start the Browns' preseason game against the Panthers, according to Mary Kay Cabot. Sanders is also expected to get first-team reps in joint practice on Wednesday against the Panthers. Steve, like when you hear this is the first preseason game, and obviously this is different to me than the Hall of Fame game, the two teams that played it, the Chargers and the Lions. They get an extra preseason game because of the Hall of Fame game. So generally, you never see starters play. I went to the Hall of Fame game last year. No starters played between the Bears and the Texans. But this is their first preseason game. Is this a big deal to you that Shedeur Sanders, after we've been hearing him not getting the same amount of reps? I know Kenny Pickett has an injury, things like that. But is this a big deal to you in terms of his chances to actually have a chance to start?
No.
Really?
I don't think this means it. I mean,
why would they do this then, Steve?
Okay. Well, so Joe Flacco's 75 years old, and right now he's projected to be their starter. The Browns also, outside of Myles Garrett, just legitimately have one of the worst rosters in all of football. Like they're competing for like a top.
Is it really
five.
that bad?
It is not a good. It's not a good team. Like they've got. I think they still have Denzel Ward. They have Myles Garrett. They got a couple of guys along the offensive line, maybe, but like
I like Jerry Jeudy. David Njoku's not bad. Wyatt Teller's pretty good. Jack Conklin.
It's not a good team. Like, and they're going into the season knowing that their quarterback situation is just atrocious, and they're gonna cut Deshaun Watson as soon as they can, and they're gonna blow this roster up, and they're gonna start over. And I guess try to build around Myles Garrett because they just gave him a massive contract. But Joe Flacco's super old. Kenny Pickett's hurt and hasn't practiced I think very much at all in training camp.
You're right. He's been injured.
And then Dylan Gabriel, I think, is banged up now too, who's the other guy that they drafted ahead of Shedeur. So it's just like Shedeur is like the only guy that they have. And so they're just like, well, just throw him out there and see what he has. And now I think it would be a great story. And it is an interesting storyline because I bet a lot more people are going to pay attention to this Browns preseason game than you would think because of this. And if he goes out there and actually looks good and like balls out, like maybe there is something to this. But I think right now it kind of feels like they just don't have any other bodies, and they're just kind of throwing him to the wolves because they're like, well, we can't put Joe Flacco out there because if he gets hurt, we're fucked.
No, but I mean, I don't know about that because you would at least you think he'd at least get a drive, right? Especially if we're going to say it like that, and Dylan Gabriel's out. I know Kenny Pickett's out. I haven't heard that Dylan Gabriel is out. I know he's questionable right now, as listed with that he's dealing with something. But if you know Shedeur is going to play a bulk of the game and you know Joe Flacco, you still got to, you would get a snap. I mean, Joe wasn't there last year. You would get a series, right? And I just heard Zach Taylor say Joe Burrow and his offense, they're going to play multiple series in this game. Now, Andy Reid is also the guy who always threatens to say Patrick Mahomes and the starting offense are going to play a quarter, and they never, ever do. But Mahomes is going to play in the first preseason game, right? They're going to play and get a drive in. I know Joe is old, but, I mean, he also needs to get some game reps. I'm not going to say it's a huge thing yet. Would you feel different, Steve, if this were the second preseason game and he was starting? Because they only get 3 of them, Steve, and the last one they're not going to play.
I think it depends on what the situation is with the rest of the quarterbacks, because the Browns have pretty much already said, like, Flacco's the starter, and they viewed Pickett as the backup, and Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel are like their developmental quarterbacks that they want to sit and see if they can turn into something. Like, they're not guys that they expect to play this season. So, like, it would depend on, like, the health of Kenny Pickett. Because, like, Kenny Pickett, if he starts, like, Kenny Pickett's, like, one of the 3 worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So, like, you're already screwed. Can Shedeur Sanders be better than Kenny Pickett? Probably. Like, it's not a very high bar to clear because Kenny Pickett's legitimately that bad. Like, he is not a functional starting NFL quarterback. But if he's not blowing them out of the water in practice, then maybe the Browns legitimately think that he just isn't good enough to be a starting quarterback at the league level. I'm not convinced that this is still some like yes, I think the draft day stuff is bogus and he should have been drafted higher. And there is like some conspiracy to all of that stuff. But I don't think that the Browns coaching staff is doing that. I think that they're evaluating the quarterbacks that they have and what they're capable of, because Kevin Stefanski wants to win football games. And if Shedeur Sanders was clearly the best quarterback on the roster, I think that there would be more conversation about that.
Listen, I don't think it's big yet, but I don't think it's nothing. I don't think it's nothing that they're going to have a joint practice. And sort of some coaches feel like, and I've talked to them, that there's more value in the joint practices than the actual preseason games because of how they can set it up with control. He's going to be getting the reps with the ones during this, right? Joe Flacco's not, he's 100 or he's hurt, but he's not hurt. And maybe you fear him getting hurt. But Steve, he's getting the reps and Joe's over there. Joe doesn't have an injury designation. This is joint practice. He's getting the number 1 reps over Joe during practice. That's the part that also for me is like, whoa, I'm not going to say it's a big thing, but it ain't nothing. Like to me, it's not that it isn't anything. Still, I don't think that he is going to start for the first, 8-10 weeks. I think they probably give him a look at some point up the season, especially if he continues. Like if he starts to roll here. Now, again, Steve, if we run into a Russell Wilson situation, and you remember the Russell Wilson situation in Seattle where they had paid Matt Flynn, and then all of a sudden Pete Carroll just couldn't deny it and then threw him out there. But Pete Carroll is also a ballsy coach that I don't know if a lot of coaches would have pulled the trigger even after they paid Matt Flynn the way they did. But I don't know. It is something to keep an eye on. I don't, as you would say, Steve, I don't believe that their coaching staff just did this because they want to get attention to the Browns. I don't think they're thinking that way. I don't think when Jim Haslam had to answer questions about Shedeur, they're thinking that way. But that man in a joint practice against another football team, the Panthers, with Joe Flacco, who, right, we would expect if we had to put money, right, Steve, we would think that Joe Flacco would be the starter, right? That would be the thought. If you had to put money down right now, week 1, I think they faced the Bengals. They seem to always.
And they also, a couple years ago, Flacco was the backup because Watson was injured, and then they ran on that run. There's like a Jameis year, maybe too, or no, Jameis was last year.
No,
But
Jameis won. Flacco, but they made a run and they went to the playoffs.
Yeah,
They won
yeah.
11 games. Yeah,
and Flacco had a run where he was just putting up like crazy numbers because he's just careless now at this age. He's just letting it fly and trying to make plays.
I think you're going to feel different after this. The getting the number one reps with the number ones in the joint practice is the biggest thing that makes me jump and say this is more than something. But if Dylan Gabriel plays in this game, Steve, that means he's playing after him. I think that says something. I think that's a big thing. So shout out to Shedeur, man. I am with you. I am going to be intrigued and a lot more interested in watching this damn Browns preseason game because I've been a bit surprised to watch him. I'm surprised that he is getting a start after everything we have heard out of camp. By the way, Osita's not here, and I see him. He is clearly listening to the show. Probably 100% healthy, but clearly listening to the show and texting in. And it was cool. I wanted to talk to him because I tried King of the Hill. I did. I watched
you started the new season or you just watched
I watched the first 2 episodes of the
not even
show.
like that's gotta be it's not even like high definition, right? Like
it's on Hulu, so they did the best they could.
Yeah.
It's 1997, the first episode where he plays baseball and they're calling there's a rumor going around town that Hank beats the shit out of Bobby, and some guy at Child Protection Services from LA is going to try to take his ass away. and now they come right out of the gates. Like, see, that's like now I disagree off the first 2 episodes. I disagree with Osita's observation of like they're clearly talking about some real ass shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm watching it from 97. The first 2 episodes are dealing with Child Protective Services and get off my property. That's my kid. To the second episode of Bobby comes home with the permission slip to sign about sex ed. And they talk about sex ed and the line of no, tell the government to quit trying to stay in here to teach my kid about the birds and the bees. I'll be the only one to teach my kid about the birds and the bees. So, like, it's some serious shit they talking about.
I believe it's Mike Judge is the creator of King of the Hill, right?
I think it's Mike Judge and Greg Daniels. Is it Greg Daniels?
Greg Daniels might have been involved in it too.
Yeah,
he probably was. He's been involved in tons of stuff, so that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I always thought of like Mike Judge because I think he like created it.
Yeah,
and he's Beavis and Butthead, and
is he Beavis and Butthead?
Like he created Beavis and Butthead, and so that was like kind of his thing. And this was kind of like a different path where it was like it was kind of his way of just like exploring things. And because he's an interesting, like, and he's a smart dude, an interesting writer. Like he made Idiocracy, which is basically like the world that we're living in now. And he did like Office Space and has made a lot of other stuff. But like he is a good writer and producer. And I always felt like King of the Hill was like a way of him like kind of like exploring things and like topics that are sometimes like hard to talk about, but it was like doing it through this like innocence of like familyhood, and also like at the end of the day being like you can be like the stubborn conservative guy, but like also be like, but also at the end of the day just like be kind and not be a shitty person. And that's like kind of my takeaway from King of the Hill a lot, because I like I said last night, I've watched a lot of King of the Hill, but I've never been somebody who like sits down and watches every episode. But it was something that was on late at night when I was growing up. It was something I watched with my brother. My roommate is like the biggest King of the Hill fan I've ever met. Like he's seen every single episode. And so like I watch episodes here and there with him. And it is like, it's a funny, endearing show.
Yeah, I mean, no, I get it. I don't know how much I will hang in. But it was like, oh, they're getting into some serious shit, and you can see the deal of like he's sprinkling in things like the government trying to control me. But I did get a point of what Osita was talking about when he was on his show the other day, which he's not on his show today. But I get the point of it. You can see that he's kind of making fun of. He said rednecks. I don't know, but he's kind of making fun of it, right? Like by within the first 2 times where Peggy goes to try to have a conversation with him about sex ed, and then he goes to try to have a conversation with him about sex ed because he takes him to see those cows get plowed. That those motherfuckers are on their hands and knees at the trash can trying to find that permission slip to put it back together for them to sign it so they can go and teach. They can go and teach Bobby how to get of it. It is no. So I was just like, and they did that a lot in the first one, right? Like, like the first scene where they're driving, that fool Peggy goes, Bobby, just go out there and play your best. He said, to hell with that. Don't listen to what she's saying, Bobby. Go out there and you got to go out there and give 110%. And then Bobby said, well, what if I gave 111%? And then Peggy said, well, what if the other team they're playing gave 112%? Well, then you're going to have to give 113%. And then by the end of it, as they're going back and forth, Hank just says, hell, Bobby, just go out there and just do the best you can. And like he circles himself back around just whatever what Peggy said anyway. So it is a trip. I don't know if I will continue watching it. It's not bad. I'm thinking about jumping ahead in some of the seasons just to see, if the graphics get better, the writing gets better. I mean, the writing's not bad, but if it gets, how it evolves from where it was in 97, because I am, Steve, feeling like I'm watching a show from 1997. Like I'm feeling like I am watching a show, at least right now, the content and everything straight out of 97. But no, man, it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know if I can. The animation thing, man, that's hard for me to get over. I feel like
what are the episode lengths? Because it was a commercial animated, so it's like 20-minute episodes, probably.
Yeah.
See, that's like, because there's some of that with me too. Like, I love animation and stuff, but sometimes, like, especially these shows that have like tons and tons of episodes, like, I'm like, am I really gonna like watch 300 episodes of this animated show? Like, probably not. But when they're 20 minutes, like, and you can just burn through them like super fast, like, it's easy to just get caught up in it. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, I've just been sitting here forever, and I watched like 10 episodes straight.
I gotta get over that. I don't know if I feel like I'm being a kid or I'm watching kiddie things, even though I know the content is not kiddie or whatever. I feel like I'm a kid, but I don't know. It's just it is stupid, and it is on me. Like I'm making it clear.
Grow up.
It is
watch
hard.
More cartoons.
It is hard but that's the thing about me. I never watch cartoons. Like, ever.
As a child?
I never watched cartoons.
You were just watching ESPN?
Sports Center. I was. I'm not, like, what did I watch growing up? I watched Ninja Turtles. Maybe that's it. But I never, now I watch movies. Hey, Aladdin, let's go. Like Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Fern Gully, let's go. But I never watched Looney Tunes. I never watched
Tom and Jerry.
I have never seen Tom and Jerry in my life. I didn't watch, and I never watched any of the on Nickelodeon. I never watched any of
Rugrats. Hey Arnold.
I watched the real life.
Doug.
I watched the real life stuff. Like my brother and me. Right. I just never was. And then again, yes, I was more Saturday morning Keith Olbermann, Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen. I was getting up and I didn't eat cereal because I hated milk. So I was getting up, getting my toast.
Keith Olbermann on Saturday morning.
I was getting toaster strudels and putting them in the toaster because I don't like milk, so I didn't have cereal. And I'm spreading my little icing over it while I'm watching them talk about the Yankees and the Blue Jays.